Shaheen, we know that alignment within the organization is essential, and I think you did bring this up briefly. But when it comes to being customer centric, how can businesses become aligned, but more importantly, stay aligned?
I'd say there are probably four components to it. One is start small, start in friendly territory, start with KPIs of other people, and then lastly start by listening. And I think those four is going to really help with alignment. And what I mean by those is start small, meaning that be very careful of taking too much on. So be very careful of saying, hey, we're going to be focusing on 10 accounts. We're going to be focusing on 20 accounts. And again, that could be possible depending on the program. But if you're really looking at what Suzanne were talking about, one-to-one, you might get excited at the beginning. And you're like, yeah, 10 accounts, each AE or each account manager, bring one account and I'll cover all that for you. Very dangerous. You're just setting yourself up for massive amount of an avalanche of work coming your way. So really always err on the side of going too small. And I think that's going to save you a lot of headache down the track. So, and it matters from alignment because you now have a smaller number of people that you have to engage. Every single account that you add, and again, if it's a large account that you're looking at, you have to then deal with the customer success team, the account team, the AE who's responsible for it, the SDRs that potentially are prospecting into account. You don't just double the complexity of what you're doing. You add multiple layers of complexity to it. So and forget about talking about different regions. That's another whole layer of complexity. So I think about starting small. The second thing that I would say is start in friendly territory. And what I mean by that is find team members from, again, sales organization or customer success organization. This might be more of a sales conversation, that are open to what you're suggesting. And you do not have to do, again, you have to do selling. You have to convince the other party, but they are more open to what you're suggesting because I'm sure if marketers are in the audience, there are definitely some salespeople who are not very open to collaboration. And don't set yourself up for that additional headache if you're starting with the program. Pick accounts that you know you have friendlies in that camp. That does not mean that later on you can scale to those other accounts, but again, when you start being friendly territory, think about their KPIs. That is the number one killer, I think, of alignment, where maybe marketing brings a program to the table and they just talk about marketing stuff, and it's like, especially sales, like, I'm commission focused. Like, how am I going to get my commission on this? This is not going to help. Gets canned. And then lastly is listening. It sounds super trivial, but it is so critical of going in there and just asking questions. And then what you want to do on the back of that is to show that those questions have been, those answers that you've got been incorporated in whatever suggestion that you're coming back to. Builds a lot of credibility, builds a lot of trust between teams. So those are the four components around alignment that I would say best to keep in mind when running these kind of programs.